By 1982, Iran's war against its own people had become a bigger issue than its war with Iraq. It was 3 years into the reign of the new regime, and anyone who opposed it was persecuted. Many had fled the country, which fractured families and broke many hearts. Since the borders were closed, people lost hope of being reunited with their loved ones. One of them was Marjane's uncle, Taher. After his teenage son left Iran, he suffered 2 heart attacks. He survived them, but remained fragile. One night, the Revolutionary Guards threw a grenade near Taher's home. They were trying to flush out some suspected communists hiding nearby. The explosion gave Taher his 3rd heart attack. It was a serious one. Hey team, just a reminder, if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. It really helps the channel out, and our next upload could be on something taught in your next class. Thanks, and back to the video. His best chance of survival was to be treated in England, which required authorization. That was the only way Taher could get a passport. When the hospital director refused, Marjane's father went to see an old pal named Khosrow. He was clever at forging passports and said it would take 5 days to prepare one for Taher. In the meantime, Taher regained consciousness in the hospital. His one wish was to see his son again. A few days later, Khosrow's home was raided. His lodger, an 18-year-old girl named Nilufar, was arrested and executed for being a communist. Khosrow fled the country and never got to make Taher's passport. 3 weeks later, Uncle Taher died. He never got to see his son. In a sick twist of fate, his official passport arrived the day he was buried. As soon as the borders reopened, Marjane's parents got passports and went on a trip, just the 2 of them, to Turkey. Those 2 lovebirds. Since Iran had banned imports from Western countries, Turkey was the only place where you could buy rad stuff. So Marjane gave her folks a shopping list of punk merchandise. This included a denim jacket and posters of Iron Maiden and Kim Wilde. This was the 80s, after all. Smuggling Marjane's presents back through Iranian customs made her parents sweat bullets. But Marjane was so excited to receive them. All these goodies made her want more music tapes. So she donned her denim jacket and headed straight for Gandhi Street. This was where you could buy black market Western goods from street peddlers. Marjane bought the tape she wanted in a quick, dodgy deal. Better get home before you get caught, Margie. Uh-oh. Marjane's denim jacket, sneakers and loose strands of hair caught the attention of some female Revolutionary Guards. That's right, in 1982, Iran's Revolutionary Guard added a female branch to monitor women's obedience to the regime's strict Islamic code of conduct. They decided Marjane's appearance was too punk, so they would arrest her. Oh, heck! This meant she could be detained for hours, maybe even whipped. Her mother would be so worried. Only after some quick thinking, dramatic waterworks, and a tall story about an evil stepmother did the guards let her off. Marjane sure can act. She decided not to tell her mother about this close call. She'd never let her go out by herself again. The only way Marjane could calm her nerves after this was to have a Kim Wilde concert in her bedroom. How relaxing. It was easy to forget they were at war, until Iraq aimed their Scud missiles at Tehran. These missiles could travel long distances to hit their targets, often civilian ones. The missiles were so powerful they could level whole buildings. Not even the basements were safe anymore. For the first time, Marjane realised how much danger they were in. Many families fled Tehran, but the Satrapis stayed. They felt that Marjane's education at the French school was her best shot at a decent future. When the bomb alarms went off, the only places that seemed safe enough were the basements of the big hotels. The Satrapi's Jewish neighbours, the Baba Levis, usually hid at the Hilton. Marjane was friendly with their daughter, Neda. One day, an alarm sounded while Marjane was out shopping. The radio confirmed that her neighbourhood had been targeted by an Iraqi missile. Marjane raced home to find that her street had been hit. Thankfully, the Satrapi's home and family had been spared. But the Baba Levi's house had been destroyed. But they took shelter at the Hilton, right? Actually, since it was Saturday, the Jewish Sabbath, the Baba Levis had stayed at home. As Marjane walked past the wreckage, she saw Neda's bracelet. It was attached to something unrecognisable. Neda's death changed Marjane. Nothing scared her anymore. So, by age 14, she was a proper rebel. She even whacked her school principal for trying to confiscate Marjane's jewellery. After Marjane was expelled for that stunt, it was hard to find her another school. When they eventually did find one, she made trouble there too. But this time, it was for speaking the truth about the cruelty of the regime. Marjane was growing into a strong, outspoken girl who railed against authority. Her parents worried that it was only a matter of time before she ended up like her uncle Anush, arrested and executed. But it was so much worse for young female prisoners. They would often be abused by the guards before they were executed. That's what had happened to Nilofar, the girl who'd been lodging with Khosrow, the passport maker. Remember her? That poor girl. Marjane was not going to end up like that. But how could she survive in that society? A week later, Marjane's parents sat her down to explain their solution. They were sending her to a French school in Vienna, Austria. They said they would join her after a while, but Marjane could tell they were just trying to comfort her. So she gave her precious posters to her friends and said her goodbyes. Then Marjane's grandma came to stay with her. They had a good cuddle and a long talk. Grandma revealed why she smelled so good all the time. She always had fresh jasmine flowers stashed in her bra. She also offered Marjane some advice to help her deal with difficult people while staying true to herself. The next morning, Marjane's parents took her to the airport. They tried to be cheerful and get Marjane excited about Europe, but everyone was crying. Marjane felt like she was dying inside. When she turned around for a last look, she wished she hadn't. Her father had to carry her mother out of the airport. Would this be their last goodbye? And Marjane might be one tough nut, but she's only 14. How will she cope on her own in a foreign country? We hope you enjoyed this Schooling Online production. For more easy lessons, check out our other videos.